Hi to everyone. In this video, we are going to discuss about rules of inference. Actually, the term inference itself reveals that we are going to trace some conclusions based on some strong evidences. So, what's the relation of defining the rules of inference in discrete mathematics means we are going to demonstrate that a particular formula is a valid consequence of a given set of premises. So, in order to prove that one, we are going to define some rules of inferences here. We are having the two rules. One is the rule P and next one is the rule T. Rule P is premise may be introduced at any point in the derivations. So we can introduce a premise during the derivations part at any point. And next one rule is a formula S may be introduced in a derivation if S is tautologically implied by any one or more of the preceding formulas in the derivations. It means we can introduce a formula S in the derivations if S is tautologically implied by any one or more of the preceding formulas in the derivations. For example, we can take one implications. Yes, I have taken modus ponens. Modus ponens is P and P implies Q, which is tautologically implying Q. So, how I am going to prove this one is, at first I am taking this one, P, if P then Q, right? So, at first I am taking if P implies Q. So, I can, it is a statement if P then Q. So, we are writing P here. So, the conclusion is as per the implications we can write then Q. So, in order to prove this one, we can write it as, we can draw the truth table for this one. You can take P value and then we can write the Q statement. Then we can take P if P then Q. So take the truth values, true, 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 false, and then false, true, then false, false. So if P then Q means we will get it here as a true, and for here we will get it false, true, true. And then we can prove this one. For example, we can take this one, P and P implies Q. So P and P implies Q. True, true. We will get here as a true, and then true, false. We will get it here as false. False, true, false, and again here we will get false. And next one, what we have to prove it here. Next one we have to prove P and P implies Q is a tautologically implying Q. So what I am going to do it here is I am going to write P and P implies Q, tautologically implying Q. So now check here. We can take this column. We can take this as you can consider whole it as a and this term as B. So we can consider this as A and this as B. True, true, we will get true here. And false, false, we will get false here. Because here we are just going to make use of the implications, right? Implies, okay? So we are, I'm sorry. True, true, we will get true here. False, false, we will get true here. And then false, true, we are getting true. False, false, true. So from this column itself, easily we can understand for all the possible values of the truth values, we are just getting the true values only. So we can conclude P and P implies Q is tautologically implying Q. So we can conclude as per the rule T. What we have, what's the rule T? A formula S may be introduced in a derivation if S is tautologically implied by any one or more of the preceding formulas in the derivations. So as per this definitions also, we have proved P comma P implies Q is tautologically implying Q. So let's see one more example for the rules of inference. Then easily you can understand it. Demonstrate that R is a valid inference from the premise P implies Q and then Q implies R and P. So how can we do this one is, at first we can split it into several columns. The first column is the first one. Here we can give the number for your derivations, and here you can write the derivations, and then here we can write the rules based on which rule that we are writing here. So next one thing, here you can write the number from which you have derived. Okay, so here you can write the number from which derived. Okay. So first what I am taking here is, at first I am taking the premise if A then Q. So I am naming the number it as 1. It must be enclosed within the parentheses. So here I am writing within the curly braces. Okay. So next what I am going to do it here is, based on which rule I am writing here, we are having the two rules. One is the P and next one is the T. A premise may be introduced at any point in the derivations. So based on that rule only I have introduced this one. So I can write it as based on the rule P. Based on the rule P. Okay. So we can write like this one. Next, what I am going to do it here is, next I am going to check for the premises. What are all the premises related to this premise here? So here I am having P. So I am just going to write it here as P. Because here it's a if P then Q. So that's why I am writing here like this one. I can name this one as 2. I have introduced this premise based on the rule P only. Next, here I can name it as 2. Next, what I am going to do it here is if P then Q. So we have already discussed if P then Q. So we can write it here as Q and here as 3. Here based on 1, based on 2 and 1 only we are writing. So based on 1 and 2. So here the rule is based on the rule Q. How we have written the Q here is, we have already seen the modus ponens. According to the modus ponens, P and P implies Q is tautologically implying the statement formula Q. So as per that rule, we have, as per that implications, we have derived, we have concluded Q here. Next, I have to check for the next premise. The next one premise is this one. So I have to write it here as Q implies R. I am introducing it based on the rule P. Yes, here I have to write it here as 4 because this derivation, this premise is not at all based on any other derivations, right? So we can simply write it here as 4. Next, what I am going to write it here as, I am going to write it here as 5. How I am going to derive this one means I am based on Q and Q implies or based on the same rule Q and modus ponens. I can conclude here as we can take this as the Q and Q implies R means we will get R only. So here based on what are the derivations we have derived, based on the 3 and 4 only we have derived 5. So here we have to write, here we have to write for 3 is based on 1 and 2 and 4 is based on 4 only. So here we can write it as 1, 2, 4. So that's all. So we have concluded these are all the premises from which R is a valid inference. I hope that you have understood these concepts clearly. In case if you are having any doubts, kindly let me know. Thank you.